Welcome back to the Capital Mindset Show, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day as always. Today we're going to be talking about Alibaba. So Alibaba is down 14.44% to $61.77. If you guys have any recollection as to all the content we've made on Alibaba, there's actually even more than just this, by the way. This is just the first couple that come up. I did make a video saying this was the final video for now, and it's because for a long time I've been talking pretty much badly about Alibaba, very negative. If you guys know about, all the things that we covered, I really recommend this video, the one that only got about 421 views with that crazy thumbnail. That's probably one of the best videos on Alibaba. It really gets into a lot of the court cases, the historical context for what's going on with Alibaba. But I did save the final video for now because the stock had gone down so much, and now it's down even more. I mean, come on. So the reasoning for it is because I felt like it's too easy to kick a stock while it's down, but the community has asked me to make more content on Alibaba. So here I am making more content on Alibaba. So I'll run you through a little bit of the TLDR, why I despise the company so much. I don't despise it as a company, but it looks cheap on the surface, yes. And right, when you say, okay, like you look at the financials, you look at everything that it's going for, it looks like a very cheap company. If you go check out all those videos, which I highly do recommend, there's a lot of content really going into the context, the structure of everything. Again, I recommend the one that's about an hour and 22 minutes if you really want to know. Now, probably people are wishing they kind of saw a video like that now because it could have saved them a lot of pain. Let me just say that. And one of the, okay, so let's begin like this. What is Alibaba? Well, Alibaba is this e-commerce giant in China, blah, 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 the Amazon of China, has a cloud service, et cetera, all that. So it looks cheap on paper, looks like it's free money. Every time it's free money or looks like it's free money, you should investigate further. Maybe too good to be true, right? And you had super investors. Again, you should never blindly follow super investors. Never blindly and shamelessly clone them. There's something to, you have to do the research ahead of that. You have to understand the business, not just say, oh, I'm just going to buy it just because this person bought it. Never do that. Why would you do that? That's silly. So with China, you have restricted entities. These restricted entities do not allow you to own the A shares. Okay, very important to understand that. You cannot own the A shares. There's no matter what you can do, except for one way. If you're a foreigner and you live in China and you work for the company, you can own A shares that are non-voting A shares. Okay, that's the key distinction. Non-voting A shares. Now, if you are a foreigner not living in China, you can participate by buying these structures known as VIEs, right? VIEs is an umbrella term. I just go over that in those other videos. It's an umbrella term. There's many different kinds of VIEs and how they can look. It's an umbrella term. Okay, so we have VIEs in the United States. We have VIEs in other countries as well. We have VIEs in the UK. I've covered one as well. That's Interactive Brokers. I covered another one, Rocket Mortgage, and I still have to go over another one that I will remain unnamed. But you guys in the Discord community, you guys know which one that is. Oh, by the way, I did start a podcast. The description is down in the description below, or the link is down in the description below. It's free. It's on Substack, and I just released one on YouTube. It seems like the audio is messed up on the YouTube version. So I don't know why that is. It made the background music a lot higher. I think it's something to do with the editing, but the one on Substack sounds a bit better. So going forward, I'm just going to basically, when I upload the YouTube version, I'm just going to lower it even more so that it doesn't, overwhelm anyone. But that was like episode 1. It was released last night on Substack, and then the YouTube one was released this morning. So the same episode, it's just I'm going to have a little bit of a delay when it goes on to YouTube versus on Substack. So you guys can check me out there. Okay, so going on to China, we saw that Xi Jinping is going to remain in power. He also put a bunch of his buddies into power with him. And so basically his agenda is going to move forward. Well, what is his agenda? His agenda is basically like a Maoist 2.0, not getting back exactly to Mao. There's still there's a bunch of conflict internally within the party. There's a bunch of, I guess you could say, sources you could use to kind of get some context on that, but it's kind of scarce in Western media, I'd say, or because it's free information. But well, what you need to know is that there's a bunch of factions within the Communist Party of China, and they want different things, and they're constantly fighting over what it is that they want. It looks like Xi Jinping is winning the war, and that's not really a good thing for if you wanted it to open up, right? And so the VIEs, these structures that you're basically buying if you're buying BABA, well, you don't own anything, and maybe you were buying it for the hope that one day China would open up more and then honor the agreements and say basically, well, now these are considered actual shares, and we're opening up our capital markets. Well, it looks like there might be in regress, or not regress, even remaining the same, because as it stands right now, you currently don't own anything. And again, if you go back to some of these videos, specifically this one, the one that only has 421 views, I do go over court cases, in which case every single time that it has happened, when push comes to shove, China always sides with the companies, basically saying you don't own anything, right? Because you don't, you legally don't, and that's how it's structured on purpose. So it's basically free money when they do capital raises in the West. The West gives them money, or retail investors in this case give them money and capital for the shares that they issue, and then you get nothing in return. It's a really good deal for them. So I also go over why China itself would never delist their companies in the West. It makes no sense. Why would you do so? It makes no sense. You would rather just have it there and then sell your shares to Westerners who are basically paying you for non-ownership, right? That's basically free money. Okay, how much better can it get? It can't get any better than that, I'm telling you. And then you can do token buybacks, which I do predict that these stocks or these companies are going to do token buybacks right now, because they're going to try to calm Westerners. And also expect that the Chinese government, I'm telling you right now, is going to try to do something to calm the West, right? So mark my words, they're going to try to do something right now, like the Xi Jinping administration is going to come out and say something to try to calm the markets. Because again, they still view the Western markets as free capital that can flow into China and build out their businesses. They still view it that way. But they're not going to give up ownership. They're not going to give up control whatsoever. So at the end of the day, it's still worthless in my eyes. And you're basically buying this, in my opinion, to a greater fool theory, right? That's the way you really profit, is you sell this to someone else who's willing to pay a higher price. It's a huge disconnect with traditional form of understanding of business, and you're kind of not looking at it as a business that you own. You're looking at it as something that's a stock, a piece of paper, or a number that you're going to sell it to someone else for a higher price. Because at the end of the day, you don't really own the underlying earnings. There's a contractual agreement that exists there, but typically contracts have time stipulations. So if we sign a contract together, there's like an end date. There's something I have to satisfy by a certain time in the future. But with a contract, imagine if we signed a contract like, oh, I owe you $1 million, but we don't say when I owe you $1 million, and then I don't pay you, and you pass away, and then I never pay whoever inherits the contract, right? That's a crappy contract. You wouldn't accept that, right? But you are with this, right? Because it's a contract without a time stipulation. Again, I go over these analogies in those older videos, and maybe if people saw it, I know that a lot of my audience did see it, and people in the community, they all kind of, I guess, think the same way, because I see them talk about this in the Discord about these Chinese VIEs. It seems like everyone's on the same page, and some of the people who are newer to the markets got introduced to it via my channel, and now are kind of really grasping as to what it is that they bought, or what it is that other people are buying, and they want to stay away from it. So they avoided this whole fiasco. In conclusion, what I want to say is I own the shares that I do own, and I explained so in this video. Basically, if I ever talk bad or continue to talk bad and it kept going down, which it did, in this video towards the end, you can see exactly, I explain why, laid out, why did I buy Baba and Tencent. And I bought token amounts. So basically just like for fun, but because I still don't believe that they're worth anything. And I do still think that if sentiment kind of changes, because the market doesn't yet understand they own nothing, they kind of do, but they don't really grasp it, right? If they did, it would be worth near zero, in my opinion. But if I do end up continue to talk about it, which I will now, because I did do a video that says final video for now, where I said basically, oh, the stock is down a lot, and I don't want to continue to talk bad about a stock, because it's easy to do so now. It was harder to do so when it was popular. We had large YouTube channels like Everything Money and all of them talk only good things about the stock, and it's easy money. It's like, oh, this is a value play. Well, they don't really know value if it hit them in the face. And kind of getting into that mindset, I was like, okay, well, I'd rather talk bad about this company when everyone else is like loving it, rather than now it's easy because, oh, it's fallen like 50, 80%, something like that. So, but the community has really asked me to come back in and start making content on this again. So I will do so. Regardless if it goes up or down, I'm just going to continue to do so. And yeah, so here I am making content about the Chinese VIEs again. So add this to the long list of videos that we have. But again, go into that one. And if I continue to lose money on those shares, so you know that I'm not doing so because I'm shorting the stock. I'm not doing so because I enjoy to see your pain or anything like that, or wanting to say I told you so. But I'm just here to, put this information out there so that you can understand better what it is that you're buying. And it's free information. It's here on YouTube. This is an open platform. This is not behind a paywall. You can watch this video. You can watch those videos. Anyone can choose to get that information for free, right? And so you can disagree with me, by the way. That's all well and good. You don't have to agree with my opinion on this, but I'll continue to share my opinion on this matter. And maybe You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. All right. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.